First contact fallout. The Zenith cruiser cut through the darkness of space like a crystal dagger, its polished surfaces reflecting the distant light of Sol as it approached the third planet. Inside the ship's control chamber, Vorax Neal adjusted his breathing apparatus and watched the blue-green world grow larger on his view screen. His 6 upper appendages twitched with anticipation, while the 4 lower ones remained perfectly still in their meditation pose, a display of the famous Zenthian control that had made his species the most successful merchants in 7 galactic sectors. Final approach to Earth atmosphere in 3 cycles, announced the ship's eye. All systems nominal. Cargo secure. Defense shields at maximum capacity. Vorax fluttered his gill slits in satisfaction. This would be his crowning achievement, the first Zenthian merchant to establish direct trade with the mysterious humans of Earth. The Galactic Council had only reluctantly admitted Earth to its ranks 50 years ago, and most species still avoided direct contact with the planet. Humans had a reputation for being unpredictable, chaotic, and strangely innovative, qualities that most civilized species found disturbing. But where others saw danger, Vorax saw opportunity. His cargo hold contained technologies and artifacts from 30 different worlds, all carefully selected to dazzle and impress Earth's primitive markets. His ship, the most advanced trading vessel in the Zenthian fleet, was equipped with impenetrable defense systems capable of withstanding anything from asteroid impacts to military-grade weapons. Begin atmospheric entry, Vorax commanded. Maintain standard descent protocol. The Zenith cruiser tilted downward, its perfect geometrical shape beginning to glow as it hit the outer layers of Earth's atmosphere. Vorax settled back, preparing to enjoy the spectacular view of a new world opening before him. The ship's shields would handle the heat and pressure of entry without the slightest strain. After all, they were designed to withstand the caustic atmosphere of Noxus Prime, a world so hostile it had melted 3 exploration vessels before the Council declared it off-limits. The first warning came as a subtle vibration beneath his feet. Alert, the ship's AI announced, its voice uncharacteristically modulated. Detecting unusual energy patterns in local atmosphere. Shield harmonics experiencing unexpected interference. Vorax's upper appendages froze mid-twitch. Specify interference type. Unknown. Pattern does not match any cataloged phenomena. Shield integrity at 93% and declining. Impossible. Vorax hissed, all pretense of Zenthian calm abandoned. Increase power to shields. Adjust frequencies to compensate. Attempting compensation. Shield integrity at 87%. The vibration grew stronger. Warning lights flashed across the control panels. The view screen showed the Zenith cruiser's perfect crystalline outer hull beginning to shimmer and distort. Shield integrity at 75%. Warning: detecting structural anomalies in cargo containment systems. Vorax abandoned his meditation pose and moved swiftly to the manual controls. Abort descent. Return to orbit immediately. Unable to comply. Propulsion systems offline. Detecting cascading failures across all major systems. The ship lurched violently. Through the view screen, Vorax watched in horror as the outer hull, an alloy capable of withstanding direct energy weapon hits, began to bubble and warp like heated wax. "What is happening?" he demanded, his voice rising to a shriek that the translator couldn't properly modulate. Analysis suggests interaction between ship's shield harmonics and unknown planetary energy field. Effect is multiplicative rather than additive. Shield integrity at 42%. The ship was falling now, no longer a controlled descent, but a terrifying plummet toward the blue-green surface below. Vorax grabbed onto the control console as the artificial gravity fluctuated. His prized cargo, worth more than some planetary economies, was almost certainly being destroyed by whatever impossible force was tearing through his shields. Emergency landing protocols. He screamed. Locate nearest suitable landing zone. Scanning. Detecting human settlement within range. Warning. Significant damage to navigation systems may affect landing precision. Another violent shudder ran through the ship. The view screen showed fragments of the outer hull breaking away, burning brightly as they scattered behind the falling vessel. Shield integrity at 17%. Hull breach imminent. Preparing crash protocols. In that moment, as his perfect ship disintegrated around him and his perfect plan collapsed, Vorax felt something he hadn't experienced since his earliest youth: pure, undiluted fear. The Zenith cruiser smashed through the lower atmosphere, trailing smoke and debris, its once perfect form now a twisted, burning wreck. Its emergency systems fired retro-thrusters in a desperate attempt to slow its descent, but half of them failed to respond. Vorax's last thought before impact was that he should have listened to the Council's warnings about Earth after all. Dr. Maya Chen was collecting soil samples at the edge of the research compound when the burning object streaked across the morning sky. She dropped her collection kit and stared upward, her scientist's mind automatically calculating trajectory and impact point. "Henderson," she shouted into her comm unit, "get the rapid response team ready. Unknown object incoming. Impact approximately 3 kilometers north of the compound." Without waiting for a response, she jumped into the nearest all-terrain vehicle and sped toward the rising column of smoke. As head cynobiologist at the Earth Frontier Research Station, any potential extraterrestrial contact fell under her jurisdiction. After 5 years of studying microscopic alien soil samples and analyzing atmospheric interference patterns, she might finally have something substantial to work with. When she reached the impact site, Maya was surprised to find not a meteorite or space debris, but the unmistakable form of a spacecraft, albeit one that had seen better days. The once sleek vessel was now a twisted mess of exotic metals and crystalline components, many of which were still glowing with residual heat. A trench of scorched earth stretched behind it for almost half a kilometer. Maya approached cautiously, scanner in hand. "Hello? Is anyone alive in there?" A section of the hull suddenly shifted and fell away, revealing a humanoid figure that was definitely not human. The alien was tall and slender, with 6 upper limbs and 4 lower ones. Its skin was a pale blue with iridescent patterns that seemed to shift and flow, and a breathing apparatus covered what she assumed was its face. The creature stumbled forward and collapsed onto the dirt. Maya rushed forward, medical training overriding caution. "I'm Dr. Maya Chen," she said slowly, knowing her translator would be struggling to find an appropriate language match. "I'm here to help you." The alien's breathing apparatus emitted a series of clicks and whirs before producing recognizable speech. "My ship. What happened to my ship?" Maya glanced at the wreckage. "It appears to have experienced catastrophic failure during atmospheric entry. You're lucky to be alive." "Luck has nothing to do with it," the alien replied, its translator giving the words a strangely formal quality. "Zenthian vessels are designed to protect their operators at all costs. I am Vorax Neal, primary trade negotiator of the Zenthian Alliance. My ship was the Zenith cruiser, the most advanced trading vessel in the quadrant." "Well, Vorax Neal," Maya said, helping the alien to stand, "your most advanced trading vessel just got taken apart by our atmosphere. Which is fascinating, because Earth's atmosphere shouldn't be capable of doing that to any spacefaring vessel, let alone an advanced one." "Precisely," Vorax said, his multiple limbs gesturing in agitation. "This should not be possible. My shields were designed to withstand environments 1,000 times more hostile than this oxygen-nitrogen mix. Something about your planet interfered with my systems." The sound of engines announced the arrival of the research station's response team. Maya kept her attention on the alien. "That's actually what we study here at Earth Frontier. Earth has some unique properties that make it challenging for off-world technology. Come back to our compound, and we'll see what we can do for you and your ship." Vorax looked back at the smoking ruins of the Zenith cruiser. "My cargo. It represents the combined wealth of decades of trading. We'll salvage what we can," Maya promised. "But first, Let's make sure you're stable. Earth has surprised more than one visitor with unexpected biological effects, too. The research compound's medical bay was designed to accommodate a variety of alien physiologies, though it had rarely been used for its intended purpose. Vorax sat uncomfortably on an examination platform while Maya and her team ran scans and tests. Fascinating, Maya murmured, studying the results. Your biological systems are already adapting to Earth's electromagnetic interference. That's unusual. Most extraterrestrial visitors experience significant disruption to their neural pathways. Xenthians are highly adaptable, Vorax replied stiffly. Our evolutionary path required us to thrive in diverse environments. But you still haven't explained what happened to my ship. Maya put down her scanner and faced the alien directly. Earth is unique in the galaxy, perhaps in the universe. Our planet generates what we call a biospheric electromagnetic field. It's not just the planet's core or atmosphere, but the combined effect of all living organisms, from bacteria to humans, creating a complex, constantly shifting energy pattern. That's absurd, Vorax said. Biological organisms don't generate significant energy fields. Individually, no. But Earth has an unusually diverse and abundant biosphere. Billions of years of evolution have created a planetary ecosystem where everything is connected through overlapping energy patterns. Most alien technology isn't designed to account for this kind of interference because it doesn't exist anywhere else. Vorax's breathing apparatus hissed as he processed this information. Are you claiming that your planet's life force destroyed my ship? In a manner of speaking, yes. Your shields probably created a resonance effect with the biospheric field, amplifying rather than blocking its influence. The more power you fed into your shields, the stronger the destructive effect became. This is unprecedented, Vorax said, his voice quieter now. The Galactic Council mentioned Earth was unusual, but nothing in their report suggested anything like this. We don't advertise it, Maya said with a small smile. It's been Earth's best natural defense. Most alien species encounter problems with their technology and simply avoid our planet. Those who do visit have to use specially designed equipment with biospheric dampeners, which I did not have, Vorax concluded. So my cargo is probably in rough shape, Maya finished for him. My team is bringing what they could salvage to our secure storage facility now. You're welcome to inspect it once you're medically cleared. Vorax's multiple limbs moved in what Maya interpreted as a gesture of distress. Without my cargo and ship, I am ruined. The Xenthian Alliance will revoke my trading privileges. I will be dishonored. Maya considered the alien for a moment. Despite his different biology and informal manner, she recognized the universal signs of desperation. Perhaps we can help each other, she suggested. Earth is still new to interstellar trade. We could use a knowledgeable partner to help us navigate the galactic markets, and you need to salvage something from this mission. What are you proposing? Vorax asked, his interest clearly piqued. A partnership. We help you stabilize what's left of your cargo and provide you with the technology to safely operate near Earth. In return, you help us establish our first official trade relationships with the Xenthian Alliance. Before Vorax could respond, the door to the medical bay slid open and a young researcher rushed in. Dr. Chen, we've got a problem. The alien ship, it's becoming unstable. Some kind of energy buildup in what appears to be the power core. If it goes critical. Maya was already moving toward the door. How long do we have? Maybe an hour, maybe less. The energy signatures are like nothing we've seen before. She turned back to Vorax. Time to make a decision. Work with us, or watch everything you brought to Earth turn into a crater. Vorax stood, his tall form looming over Maya. It seems I have little choice. Lead the way, Dr. Chen. The human solution. The wreckage of the Zenith cruiser looked even worse in the midday sun. Parts that had seemed merely damaged in the chaos of the crash now appeared completely unsalvageable. Scattered around the impact site, Maya's team had established a perimeter of monitoring equipment, their faces grim as they studied the readings. "The power core is here," Vorax explained, pointing to a crystalline structure buried deep within the twisted metal. "It uses quantum folding technology to generate energy from parallel dimensional spaces, if it destabilizes completely." "Let me guess," Maya said. "Big boom." An oversimplification, but essentially correct. The energy release would create a temporary rift between dimensions. The resulting explosion would destroy everything within several of your kilometers. Dr. Henderson, Maya's chief engineer, whistleblow. "That's not good. Our containment tech isn't designed to handle interdimensional rifts." Maya circled the wreckage, her mind racing through possibilities. "We can't move it. Too unstable. We can't contain it with our technology. So we need to either shut it down or find a way to stabilize it." "Impossible," Vorax declared. "The control systems are completely destroyed. There is no way to initiate shutdown protocols." Maya shot him a look. "Has anyone ever told you that you're distressingly negative for a merchant? Merchants are supposed to be optimistic problem solvers." "I am being realistic," Vorax replied stiffly. "Xenthian technology is designed with multiple redundancies, specifically to prevent unauthorized shutdown. Without the proper access codes and intact control systems, the power core will continue functioning until it destroys itself." Maya stopped circling and faced the alien. "Tell me how the core works. Not the technical specifications, the basic principles. What keeps it stable under normal conditions?" Vorax hesitated, clearly uncomfortable sharing proprietary information. Finally, his sense of self-preservation won out. "The core maintains stability through quantum resonance. It generates a specific frequency that allows controlled energy extraction from dimensional boundaries. The resonance must remain precise. Any significant deviation causes cascade failures. So we need to recreate that resonance externally," Maya concluded. "Henderson, what do we have that can generate controlled frequency patterns?" The engineer ran a hand through his hair. "Nothing powerful enough for something like this. We'd need—" He stopped, eyes widening. "Actually, we might have something. The atmospheric harmonizer we've been developing to help stabilize satellite communications through the biospheric field." "Would that work?" Maya asked Vorax. The alien merchant considered the possibility. Perhaps if the frequency could be precisely calibrated to match the core's resonance pattern. But how would you power such a device at the required output levels? Henderson grinned. "That's the beauty of it. It doesn't need massive power because it works with Earth's biospheric field rather than against it. It amplifies naturally occurring patterns. The very phenomenon that destroyed my ship," Vorax noted with irony. "Exactly," Maya confirmed. "Earth gives, and Earth takes away." "Henderson, how quickly can you modify the harmonizer for this purpose?" 30 minutes for the physical modifications. Calibration will be the tricky part. I can provide the necessary resonance parameters," Vorax offered, his multiple limbs suddenly animated with new purpose. "If your device can indeed work as described, it may be possible to stabilize the core long enough to initiate an emergency shutdown." As Henderson rushed off to retrieve the atmospheric harmonizer, Maya turned her attention to the cargo containers that her team had managed to salvage from the wreckage. Most were damaged, their contents either destroyed or compromised. But a few appeared relatively intact, secured by what Vorax had earlier explained were independent stasis fields. "So what exactly were you bringing to Earth?" Maya asked as they inspected the containers. "What was worth risking a ship like yours on an unauthorized trading mission?" Vorax's breathing apparatus hissed softly. "Artifacts and technologies from across the galaxy. Items selected to appeal to human curiosity and your species' unusual fixation on novelty. The Xenthian Alliance has observed that humans value the unique and innovative more highly than the practical or efficient." Maya laughed. "That's a fair assessment. We do love our shiny new toys." She paused at one container, noting its intact status. "What's in this one?" Vorax moved to her side. Ah, that contains ceremonial objects from the Lyran Confederation. Their crystalline sculptures incorporate living organisms in suspended animation, quite beautiful and entirely unique to their world. Maya was about to respond when a new voice interrupted them. Well, well. The great Vorax Neil, reduced to scavenging through the wreckage of his own ship. How incredibly satisfying. They turned to see another alien approaching from the direction of the compound. This one was smaller than Vorax, but similar in basic physiology. Clearly the same species, though with darker skin patterning and only 4 upper limbs instead of 6. Vorax's posture instantly changed, his upper appendages raising in what appeared to be a threat display. Kelter Vex, I might have known you would appear at my moment of misfortune. How long were you following me? The newcomer's breathing apparatus emitted what sounded disturbingly like laughter. Long enough to observe your magnificent failure, cousin. I maintained a safe distance in orbit, while your supposedly invincible vessel disintegrated. The Merchant Council will be most interested to learn about your unauthorized expedition to this restricted world. Maya stepped between the two aliens. I'm Dr. Maya Chen, Earth Frontier Research Station, and you're trespassing on a secure research site during an emergency operation. Kelter's attention shifted to her. Ah, one of the famous humans. How quaint. I am Kelter Vex, Senior Overseer of Regulatory Compliance for the Zenthian Merchant Council. And you, Dr. Chen, are harboring a criminal who has violated at least 17 interstellar trading protocols. He crashed, Maya pointed out. That's hardly an intentional violation. His presence in Earth's solar system is violation enough. Kelter replied dismissively. My ship is currently in stable orbit, using properly certified biospheric dampeners. I am here legally to apprehend this criminal and report his activities. Dampeners designed using information stolen from my research. Vorax hissed. Your sudden interest in Earth trade routes only began after you accessed my private files. Henderson's return interrupted the tense confrontation. He was driving a small transport vehicle with a large device secured in the back, the atmospheric harmonizer, Maya presumed. We need to focus on preventing an interdimensional explosion, Maya told both aliens firmly. Your personal and professional disagreements can wait. Kelter's posture shifted in what appeared to be surprise. Explosion? What has this fool done now? The power core is destabilizing, Vorax explained, his tone reluctantly respectful. The humans are attempting to stabilize it using a device that works with their planet's biospheric field. Impossible, Kelter declared. Nothing can interface effectively with this chaotic energy pattern. That's why proper dampeners are required. Actually, Henderson called out as he began setting up the harmonizer. That's where you're wrong. We don't try to dampen or block the field. We work with it, using its natural patterns to create constructive interference rather than destructive. Maya watched as understanding dawned in Vorax's posture. That's why my shields failed, he said softly. They were designed to block and repel, creating destructive interference with the biospheric field. While our technology is designed to adapt and flow with it, Maya confirmed. Earth taught us long ago that some forces can't be controlled through opposition, only through harmony and adaptation. Henderson had the harmonizer positioned near the unstable power core now. I need those resonance parameters, he called to Vorax, who hurried over to assist. Kelter watched with obvious skepticism. This primitive approach cannot possibly work. The core requires precise Zenthian control systems. Maybe, Maya replied calmly. Or maybe we'll surprise you. Humans are good at that. For the next 20 minutes, Vorax and Henderson worked feverishly to calibrate the atmospheric harmonizer to match the power core's quantum resonance frequency. Maya directed the rest of her team to move the salvaged cargo containers to a safer distance, while Kelter observed with increasingly poorly concealed interest. Calibration complete, Henderson announced finally. Ready to activate on your mark. Vorax stepped back from the device, all 10 of his limbs held in a rigid posture that Maya had come to recognize as extreme tension. The calculations appear correct, but I must emphasize that this approach is entirely theoretical. No one has ever attempted to stabilize a quantum-fold power core using external resonance. No time like the present for a breakthrough, Maya said with more confidence than she felt. Henderson, activate the harmonizer. The device hummed to life, emitting no visible energy, but causing a strange rippling sensation in the air around it. The monitoring equipment showed immediate changes in the power core's energy signature, fluctuations becoming less erratic, patterns beginning to stabilize. It's working, Henderson said, his voice tense with concentration as he made minute adjustments to the harmonizer's controls. The core is responding to the resonance pattern. Instability reducing by 20%, 30%. Vorax moved closer to the monitors, his breathing apparatus working overtime as his excitement overcame his usual reserve. The pattern is stabilizing. I believe we may be able to initiate emergency shutdown protocols if this trend continues. Even Kelter had abandoned his aloof stance and was studying the readings with unmistakable amazement. This shouldn't be possible, he muttered. The field is too chaotic, too unpredictable. That's where you're wrong, Maya said, watching the stabilization progress. Earth's biospheric field isn't chaotic, it's complex. There's a difference. Chaos has no pattern. Complexity has patterns so intricate they appear random until you understand the underlying principles. Stabilization at 70%, Henderson reported. Core integrity improving. I think we're going to make it. Vorax was already working at a salvage control panel, his multiple limbs moving in blur of coordinated motion. I am attempting to access shutdown systems, if I can establish even minimal connection with the core's control matrix. A moment later, the unstable glow of the power core began to fade. Readings across all monitors showed decreasing energy levels as the shutdown sequence took effect. You did it, Maya said, unable to keep the relief and excitement from her voice. We did it, Vorax corrected, looking at her with what she sensed was newfound respect. Your understanding of Earth's unique properties made this possible. Kelter moved forward, his posture showing what Maya was beginning to recognize as the Zenthian equivalent of stunned disbelief. This technology, it doesn't just survive Earth's interference. It actually uses it. Do you understand what this means? It means Dr. Chen and her team just saved a significant portion of this research station from being turned into a smoking crater, Vorax said pointedly. It means far more than that, Kelter insisted. It means Earth technology could revolutionize interstellar trade and communication. No more need for bulky dampeners or shield modifications. No more avoiding biospherically active regions of space. He turned to Maya. The commercial applications are endless. Maya crossed her arms. I'm glad you're impressed, but let's be clear. Earth's scientific advances aren't for sale to the highest bidder. We develop technology to solve problems, not to maximize profit. A charming philosophy, Kelter replied, but ultimately naive. The Galactic Council might be very interested to learn how you obtained your supposedly certified biospheric dampeners, Vorax interrupted smoothly. Using stolen research to gain regulatory approval is a serious offense, cousin. Kelter's posture stiffened. You have no proof of such allegations. Perhaps not, Vorax conceded. But an investigation would certainly delay your plans long enough for Dr. Chen and her team to establish their own trade agreements, agreements that might include a certain disgraced Zenthian merchant looking for a fresh start. Maya watched the subtle nonverbal communication between the two aliens with fascination. There were clearly layers of politics and personal history at work that she couldn't fully grasp. What exactly are you proposing? Kelter finally asked. A compromise, Vorax said. You report that you found my ship already crashed, with no evidence of intentional landing. I was rescued by the human research team, who demonstrated remarkable ingenuity in preventing a potential disaster. In your official capacity, you recommend that the Merchant Council consider opening formal trade negotiations with Earth representatives. And in return, I don't dispute your claim to have independently developed functional biospheric dampeners. We both save face, and both potentially profit from new trading opportunities. Kelter considered this for a long moment before his posture relaxed slightly. Acceptable. Though I will insist on exclusive rights to transport Earth technology beyond this solar system. That's not your decision to make, Maya interjected. Earth will determine its own trade policies. Of course, Kelter said smoothly. I merely meant to suggest that my ship is currently the only Zenthian vessel properly equipped to safely transport such technology. A situation that could change, Vorax pointed out, especially with Earth's assistance in developing more advanced integration systems rather than simple dampeners. As the two aliens continued their negotiations, Henderson approached Maya with a grin. So much for a quiet research posting, huh? One day we're collecting soil samples. The next we're preventing dimensional catastrophes and negotiating interstellar trade deals. Maya laughed. Just another day on humanity's frontier. We adapt, we innovate, we survive, and apparently, we impress even the most sophisticated aliens in the process. She looked back at the salvaged components of Vorax's ship, the harmonizer still humming softly as it maintained stability in the power core during shutdown. Earth had destroyed the supposedly indestructible Zenith cruiser, but in doing so, it had possibly opened the door to something far more valuable. A genuine partnership with the wider galactic community based on mutual respect rather than mere commercial interests. Henderson, she said suddenly, make sure we document everything about this incident, especially the harmonizer's effect on alien technology. I have a feeling we're going to need comprehensive records when the official diplomatic teams arrive. Already on it, he assured her. Should I include the part where you basically strong-armed two alien merchants into respecting Earth's interests? Diplomacy through competence, Maya said with a smile. Sometimes the best way to earn respect is simply to solve problems that others thought unsolvable. As the sun began to set over the research compound, casting long shadows across the wreckage of what had once been the pride of the Zenthian merchant fleet, Maya couldn't help but feel that this was just the beginning. Earth had remained isolated from galactic affairs for too long, partly by choice and partly through the natural protection of its unique biospheric field. But perhaps that isolation had served its purpose, giving humanity time to develop approaches to technology and problem-solving that were distinctly their own. Now it was time to share those innovations with the wider universe, on humanity's own terms. And if that meant occasionally melting an alien supposedly indestructible ship, well, that was just Earth being Earth.